Hey, welcome back, guys. It has been a long while. Maverick here today with another episode of Code Geass. So, yes, indeed, it is entirely my fault. Basically, with all the seasonal anime that I want to do and other things going on in my life, I didn't really want to have to, consistently pump out these episodes at the same time, right? I've said at the very beginning that to me, watching anime and doing these sort of reactions and reviews is really more of a hobby than anything else, and I don't really want to turn it into a chore or into like a job or something of that sort. So that is why I decided to make the decision as it is, and I also didn't want to make it into a situation where I don't have a consistent schedule, right? So maybe upload one episode here, and then the next episodes, maybe sometimes it's the next day, sometimes it's the next week, sometimes it's the next month. No, so I'd much rather have it in a situation where I can control the tempo of flow and at least let it be consistent uploads. And so I'm utilizing this time right now between seasons to bang out as many episodes of this as I can. Of course, winter 2023 season is right around the corner as well, so we'll have to see about that. But in any case, in the meantime, let's just see how far we can go, right? So anyways, where we last left off, Lelouch was leading an assault onto the Geass cult, right? Basically wiping them out and then having a big confrontation with V2, which ended in, I do believe, V2 kinda sorta getting killed, or at least heavily injured, or something of that sort. And then, of course, Lelouch having this fateful meeting, I guess you could say, with his father, with the Emperor, and hopefully, for me anyways, this will help reveal a little bit more about why the Emperor is doing things as he does. He seems to be coming from this not only just from a ruthless dictator point of view, oh, I am evil, I'm a villain, that kind of thing, but it seems that he has his own ideals as well, right? He's all constantly talking about rebelling against the gods or something of that sort, so I kind of want to hear his side of the story, and maybe learn a little bit more about the entire Geass thing and this supernatural phenomenon in this otherwise really sci-fi sort of world, right? So with that in mind, let's get into the episode. All right, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Mm-hmm. Although, I kind of feel like they probably shouldn't just call this ability Geass, considering there's so many different kinds of Geasses. Like maybe Absolute Order Geass or something like that. No, I think this is an old opening, right? I'm fairly certain I heard this before. It has really been a long while. Actually, huh? Am I? Well, actually, is this actually a new song? I honestly can't remember. I kind of feel like it sounds familiar, but at the same time, I can't really remember it. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Never mind. Okay, I'm just tripping. I've definitely heard this one before. All right. The world of C. Huh. Alright. Is this, I think they call this the Gate of Akasha or something? Oh, look at that old CGI. Nice. Hmm. I feel. Nah. I guess he. I guess maybe he has something similar to like C2, like some kind of. So. Yeah, so it's kind of similar to C2, right? Code. Hmm. Is this where the Code Geass comes from? The code? Oh, do tell. I do want to see, like, what exactly are they talking about in terms of the world is a lie? Hmm. What? Are they living in a matrix or something? Damn. What? No. So what is your existence? Can you, like, please maybe explain this world first, you two? I don't. I feel like nothing has been explained so far. Look, I know I've been gone from this series for quite a while, but I'm pretty sure that this is not going according to anything that we've seen so far. Oh, but not only can... that... What in the world is happening here? So the power of Geass has been passed down for generations, eh? Or I guess not really passed down for generations, just lent out through generations. So this is like Shoujo C2. Whereas now we have Baba C2. We now have Grandma C2. This is like young teenager C2. The she's talking about is herself, right? I guess this is why C2 is all constantly talking to herself. Oh, bye bye. So what is this place though, and why is it floating in the air? What is the truth of this world? Are you guys gonna explain anything? I mean, I guess love conquers all. That's what we're supposed to take away from this. Oh. Like some kind of like some sort of pseudo atomic bomb, right? Obviously, it's not that, but right, that spear was basically an explosion. Okay, she's reverted back all the way to. She's reset her memories to the very beginning? Honestly, the more I watch this, the more questions I have. Alright, I think at the very end. I'm not sure if that's a preview of the next episode or there's still a little bit more. So, I guess we can just wait through this. Like, I don't know. Code Geass to me has. I think this is not the first time I've said this, right? I always feel like, it seems like I'm missing a few episodes or something of that sort. Like, it almost seems like it's an adaptation, and that there's some sort of, like, source material, like light novel or manga for it, and then they just forgot to adapt a few chapters or something like that. This picture here will never not be funny to me. Looking at Suzaku and Lelouch with the wings and all that. Yeah. Oh no, it is next. Alright. See you guys after this. Well, that was quite the reintroduction back to the series, eh? We were just suddenly thrown into this. I guess I think it would be considered a shocker of an episode if it did happen. Like, this is kind of sort of the mid-season point here, right? But like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm still feeling very conflicted about this series, to be entirely honest. Like, I mentioned this during the ending credits, but I feel like some people skipped this, so I'll just say this once again. Like, to me, Code Geass, like, right now, I'm like, what? I finished season 1, we're 15 episodes into season 2, so that's, like, added together, it's like 40 episodes now. Throughout these 40 episodes, especially, even more so in season 2, I always get the feeling that, it seems that I'm missing an episode, or I'm missing a chapter. Like it feels to me like this. I know that this is an original, like, anime work, right? But it just seems to me that there seems to be, like, a manga or a light novel for this, and that this is adaptation that simply forgot to adapt a few chapters or a few episodes. Like, there's just things that happen out of nowhere, and like, some developments that happen out of nowhere, and I don't know. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, I guess you could say. Like, I don't know, for a series that supposedly is built on, on this character that really thrives on logic, that thrives on being a genius and whatnot. It just I don't know. Sometimes this series is just like all over the place. Now I know a lot of you guys are huge fans of the series. I get it, right? But that's just my honest opinion. All right. And even in this episode, like, sure, we can sort of guess and infer a lot of stuff, but I do hope that maybe further on down the line we will get more information in regards to all this. Like, I mean, some of this stuff is kind of we can see coming, right? Like, so when for instance, when Charles, when the Emperor, when he was shot, I was kind of like, I don't really care. It seems to me that there's probably something up his sleeve, considering that we've seen C2 and V2 be these kinds of immortal characters again and again already. It's not a far-fetched idea to think that Charles would be something similar as well, right? So yes, indeed, he did get the immortality ability, and so that was that. In regards to C2 and her wish to die, I think I kind of sort of saw that coming as well, right? It's a common cliche, I guess, at this point. Like, maybe at that time it wasn't common, but I feel like it's quite a common cliche for there to be, like, some sort of immortal being who just wishes for death, right? Even though, I think I argued this on other anime before, or other works before, that I can't really buy into that kind of thinking. I mean, considering we are only mortals, right? So who knows what an immortal is thinking, but I'm just saying, I personally would never let go of such an ability here. But, that is debatable. We're not going to debate that point here, right? Everybody has their own opinions on that. So knowing, and I think from all the flashbacks that we've seen up to this point, I think it was reasonable enough to assume that she has been living throughout the ages, right? So I don't think there's anything specific or special about that part. So really, those parts, I feel, were kind of like, those were entirely, let's say, I wouldn't say they were surprises. Now, there were, what I would say did kind of surprise me, if you will, is the fact that, so in order to kill herself, she actually needs to form a contract with Lelouch? But why can't she do that by forming a contract with Charles? And what were the circumstances that became to this point? Is it because V2 already formed a contract with Charles, and so that is what happened there? And so is V2 having the exact same thoughts as C2 as well? Supposedly they want release from this immortal hell or whatnot. And yet it didn't really seem that way, right? Especially with C2 questioning Charles about killing V2 and taking over his immortality abilities. And so is this also a situation where you can only use, you can only use like one Geass, wield one Geass, and then that be it? Like, there's just a lot of stuff that's still not entirely explained here, right? Is C2 kind of sort of the original, and V2 is sort of like, I don't know, somehow extracting or utilizing or a derivative of C2's ability, or something of that sort. Like, that's never explained, and I don't know if they're ever going to explain something like this. So that's that. And then I mean, I guess, another common cliche here is love conquers all, right? We saw the situation with Valletta and Ogi and whatnot, and so, yeah, we kind of sort of saw that coming, two lovebirds in opposite camps, and then, having this sort of, like, tragic and yet romantic, and this kind of Romeo and Juliet kind of situation, all right? So, it is what it is. Anyways, we kind of saw that coming as well, so let's just put this aside. But, in this part, like what eventually caused C2 to want to continue living on or whatnot. So you're telling me that throughout these 500 years or so that she's lived, right? So apparently, I'm guessing that her, herself, before she got the Geass abilities, was probably kind of like sort of Middle Ages, something like that, or Dark Ages. So let's say 1400s, all right? Okay, so 600 years. So throughout these 600 years, is Lelouch like the first one she or kind of took a great enough interest in that now she wants to live? Is that's what being implied here? So is there really this sort of like a romance subplot, or some sort of attraction, right? Maybe this is not like love as in how us mere mortals look at it, but more like some sort of attraction, some reason for living on, right? I mean, that, you kind of expect it, but it doesn't change the fact that it's cheesy all the same, alright? I mean, after all, they are the main, male and female characters, so you can kind of sort of also see that coming, but at the same time, once you see it, you're just like, alright, fine, it's cheesy and whatnot, but like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Like during that scene when Lelouch was reaching out to you, and you know, with Lelouch and his sort of like personality and the way that he talks, I don't know. I just internally, I'm not sure if it showed on my face or not, but I was just having like quite the chuckle internally, if you will, at this scene, just because of how cheesy it was and how it was being portrayed and all that. I guess some people might think it's sentimental and really touching and whatnot, but like I said, being honest, I thought that scene was rather damn cheesy and all that. And more importantly, so what exactly is this sort of lie of the world that Charles is talking about? Or is that by itself an extension a lie, right? Was that entire thing a lie? And here I was thinking that, oh, we're going to get into like some sort of really meta and really sort of you know, kind of like in the Matrix kind of situation here, right? Everything is a lie. The world is a lie. We're all living under a simulation or something of that sort. Especially when Charles went on about like, you are me, I am you, and we're all just one single person and all that. I was like, oh, are we really getting like philosophical and you know, kind of like upping the level in terms of the depth and the sort of like world building and the worldview of this series? Like honestly, if that were true, I kind of feel like it would greatly raise my interest in this series and say, oh, that is a plot twist that I did not see coming, right? But now I'm not quite sure if that in itself really amounted to anything, or was it just Charles trying to be, you know, sort of like manipulative and basically that entire thing was a lie as well in order to, I don't know, in order to break Lelouch's spirit. But then again, why would he need to go for like all this trouble in order to do this, right? Like, what is Charles's goal at the end of all of this? I think I started this episode talking about how I feel like Charles, he does believe that what he's doing is right, and he has a specific reason for thinking so, right? Including like, this world is a lie, you know, don't lie to me, and all that sort of stuff. Like clearly he's experienced some trauma as well, right? He has his reasons for doing things. So what are they? You know, I really hate villains that are just being villains for the sake of being villains. You know, like you're just inexplicably evil for the sake of being evil. The best, I think, antagonists are ones that if you stand in their shoes, you're kind of like, you know, that kind of makes sense, and we're only rooting against you because we're sort of looking at the viewpoint through the protagonist, right? And it's really more of a case of opposing worldviews in that kind of situation. Those are the best, and to me, anyways, those are the most fascinating sort of antagonists, and really the series that I like to watch. Ones where, you know, the enemy, the antagonist, if you will, isn't really clearly someone that you should hate or you know, like irredeemable, if you will, but instead something where you can look at things from their viewpoint and be like, huh, if we actually started this series with the viewpoint of that antagonist and followed their journey along, maybe we'd be instead rooting for them, right? So those are the best type of antagonists, I feel like, and certainly I thought that Charles maybe was going to have this kind of character development, but we'll see, right? We'll see. So far, he's just been very coy with his words, and nothing substantial has come out of this yet, so we'll have to see about that. And then Lelouch, you know, being his usual overreactive self and whatnot, which is sure, it is what it is. And you know, what else to talk about here? So, no, Suzaku, you know, he's just being Suzaku. I don't really have much to comment on that part again. You know, I feel like Suzaku could have been, you know, I was trying my best, right? If you guys recall back to season 1, I was trying my best to understand, like, Suzaku's position, and I can kind of sort of see, like, what he was doing, right? And kind of sort of see, like, his viewpoint as well. But then he started getting, you know, all very, very bitchy and all that, and then I'm just like, never mind. You know, just go play somewhere else, right? That's kind of like, I feel like I've probably said the same thing to Suzaku already before, but you know, it's been a while, so all those emotions are rushing back to me. Like when I see Suzaku, when I see what he's doing and all that, I'm just like, go play somewhere else, kid. That's basically my entire feeling whenever I see Suzaku here. Kind of like, the adults are talking, just get away. Which is kind of unfair, right? I think back in season 1, I did say I kind of sort of understand his viewpoint. It's just that at this point in time, I'm not sure if he's really fully understanding of what he should be doing, a question mark, or you know. Anyways, I feel like I'm kind of rambling along, but I think overall, what I'm saying is, I think I said this before, but one of the things that's really driving me kind of crazy in a way is that so far there's really not a single character which I can relate to or who I want to fully support, right? Even Lelouch, right? I know this might come sacrilegious for some of you guys, but I think I mentioned this before as well. Lelouch, I'm not entirely on board with him, not because of the things that he does, right? I'm entirely okay, and in fact, I love protagonists that go for the sort of like ends justified and the end justified the means kind of a situation, and do some morally questionable things for the sake of achieving a goal, like as long as they don't turn crazy in the end, like Yagami, like Mr. Light, and then I do actually really enjoy those kind of characters and watching like their sort of internal struggles and whatnot. But Lelouch, I don't know, like there's just a certain, I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me in a lot of sense. How he's kind of sorta trying to go down this path, but not really, and then also trying to act all logical and all calculating, but then not really that either. I guess that to some people is the beauty of it, I guess, because he has his human flaws, if you will, but. I don't know, like maybe the fact that he's a chuny also turns me off in a lot of ways, but anyways, yeah. Really though, if I were to summarize everything up here, like all of my thoughts, it's just that once again, going back to the very beginning of everything I'm saying here, I do kind of wish that, or I do kind of feel like there are things that we're skipping over that aren't quite explained, and I'm not really sure if we're supposed to just try to infer it by ourselves. Are we supposed to go look at supplementary materials? Is it going to be explained in the future, like what exactly these things are? I feel like it's important, right? Like why people, like especially the reason that people do certain things, right? What makes them tick? Like what makes them try to do something? We understand that about Lelouch, we understand that about Suzaku. For a lot, and for a lot of these characters, we kind of sort of touch on them, right? But then we have this entire other faction, if you will, maybe not even a faction, but this entire other group of characters that are so integral to the story, right? So woven into the story, like basically most of Britannians and the Geass users, where we don't really get a feeling of what they are trying to do, or what motivates them. Why are they doing the things that they are doing, right? And I still feel like a lot of this is not explained, and it's really driving me crazy because I can't really I can't really make a judgment on them, basically. Like, I don't know whether to feel sympathetic towards them, whether to feel, they're deserving of death or whatnot. Like when the Emperor is getting shot, right? I don't quite understand. It's not understand. I don't know if I'm supposed to feel like glad. I'm supposed to feel angry. I'm supposed to feel a little bit. I'm supposed to feel a little saddened by it, or melancholic, or something of that sort. But I do wish it, right? So that's why when the Emperor was shot, I was just like, okay, he's shot. I guess he'll just come back later on. That kind of sort of like plays into it as well. But I'm not really getting. I guess if you are, fully behind Lelouch, then you are fully behind Lelouch, but unfortunately, I'm not like that, and so I kind of sort of require to know about all the others as well, and their sort of like, their sort of characterizations and what, especially because I feel like there are a few characters that including the picture dramas and whatnot, we do understand them a little bit more. Like, I feel like the anime is certainly not trying to completely demonize like all the Britannians, for example. They're still trying to show how they have their own code of honor, they have their own, like, they're humans as well, and they have things that they are fighting for, right? But then, it's just like sometimes we see that, but then a lot of other times it's like just like gone, and then some other developments that happen that sometimes I'm sort of like happy with. Oh, that's a nice plot twist I didn't see coming. But sometimes it's also like too out of the blue, and I'm always like, is this like kind of sort of a Deus Ex Machina? Maybe. But that is it. What it is. I feel like I kind of ranted on a little bit more this time because it has been a while, and so we're back at this. But anyways, that's been episode 15 of Code Geass. Like I said, I'll try to bang out more of these episodes in these upcoming like 2 weeks or so, before, or maybe over this weekend before the winter season really starts kicking in, right? And if not, anyways, I'll do my best. But no promises. But I will try to finish up the rest of Code Geass Season 2 relatively quickly. Before, hopefully, within this season, and hopefully within this month. So, anyways, that is it for now. Thank you guys, and do let me know, without spoiling, of course, what you guys think of my sort of like I wouldn't really say rant, but sort of like ramble, I guess you could say. And so, anyways, welcome back, guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.